What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Dima, the come on music. So, guys, when I first came into YouTube around 2015, there were a lot of intellectual discussions amongst, the gender war topic, black men and black women. And the discussion of that day was the lack of respect that black men had for black women. And I'm just going to only deal with that. I must admit that we do have some elements of that on the internet. I'm not even going to deal with, the opposite situation, which is black women disrespecting black men. I'm going to stay on topic today. I'm going to deal with that. And it's true. There are certain elements of things that, black men can say that can be taken as disrespectful. Some of it can be, indicated as hate speech, if you will. And I won't argue with that. But then what I would notice is for those same ladies who would have that particular position or point, when it came to some of the ladies that they liked, let's say friends, personal family members, entertainers, the people that they had some respect for were some of the ladies that were indicating those traits that certain black men will be talking about. For an example, let's use a lady such as Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole is an attractive lady, but if you look at her, there's elements of being loud, elements of being violent, what you can call sometimes abrasive in personality. Not all the time, but if you were to look at that, that's what you see. Mary J. Blige. I love Mary J. myself. Okay. But if you look at, black women like Mary J. Blige always wearing a blonde weave, and, Mary J. Blige is a good looking lady. And you always think, well, why is she wearing a blonde weave when you don't see white women wearing a Afro weave wig or things like that? Like, why doesn't she wear something that's a little bit more cultured? And then some of them are like folks like Lizzo.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
And, really believe that this is like female empowerment. And then you see Lizzo, and then you look at her Instagram page and you see what she's doing. And then you hear the arguments about how black men are sexualizing black women all the time. And then obviously they would love Meg Thee Stallion. They would know all the words and lyrics to her and Cardi B's WAP song. And then you would just see Lizzo like you see it in Coachella. And we can't really even show you the video. She has purple weave on with sandals and she's twerking. And she's always, though, on her social media talking about how Black Lives Matter and how much women need to be respected. And then it really makes me think, well, how is it that black women can call out black men for these things and certain people who don't even respect themselves and representing the collective, they're never called out? But what I'm noticing is that I'm seeing certain elements of sisters even being tired with that. Like, for an example, a few years ago, about 20 years ago, Nelly showed up to Spelman. Nelly had a song called Tip Drill. All right. And the words were like, it must be your ass because it ain't your face. You're a tip drill. So when he was going to Spelman to perform, they shut it down. All right. But I wonder if Lizzo were to come to Spelman at that same time, if she was of age, would they shut her down from performing? And I'll tell you what it is. It's no. People have their own confirmation biases, and they believe that Lizzo, as an entertainer, does not make black women biased because they believe that she is separated from the whole entire group, not understanding that she actually influences that stereotype even more because of her following. And if you look at her Lizzo, purple hair, twerking in sandals and flip-flops, it looks, highly uninteresting. Let me say that. And then I just have a question when you talk to these women who are really, really so big on black male disrespect. What do you say to people who are not representing you in the light in the media? Because when Lizzo goes out there and does what she does, you can't blame black men for that. When Meg Thee Stallion goes out there and does what she does, you can't blame black men for that. And a lot of the sexuality and things that we see that are coming out of black America towards black women are coming many times from influencers themselves. If you look at some of the models, if you look at some of the ladies who are, posting their own stuff on OnlyFans or on Instagram, modeling and doing all other kind of stuff and, getting these tattoos. A lot of these urban models and these other ladies in the modern world, if black men never say anything about black women again, that stereotype would be out there. It would have nothing to do with even what white folks would say about black people or even what black men would say about black people. It wouldn't, that confirmation bias that some folks have towards sisters would be evident based on some of the things that we see in their behavior online. In reality, the corruption, and I am going to call it what that is, the corruption and the failure to call it out at a large level. See, black men, we're not perfect, and we understand that we have problems in black male communities and that you have black men out there who are making it harder for other groups of people in the African American community and black world. And you see a lot of calling it out of the Pookies and the Ray Rays, but you don't see sisters calling out the Shaquishas and the Laquitas and the Quantishas. They're never called out. When they get pregnant or something like that occurs, there's no father there. They have 3 different baby daddies and they post their baby shower stuff. And, you get a lot of congratulations. Oh, God just blessed you with a gift. And you hear all that sort of stuff. But you never hear any kind of people saying, hey, this is adding to the single motherhood rate. And I think what black women feel like, well, that's not me. So they don't represent me. And the reality is that person does represent you. Even though I'm a successful guy and I'm trying to do the right thing. When you have guys out there that are damaging the black male image, it gives confirmation bias to certain people. And I know we shouldn't care what others may think, but the reality is, for those of you who do care about what people think about your gender and your community and your specific race, then when you allow people to spread those stereotypes and you don't bring it to their attention, especially somebody that is, has a big following, it's problematic. It's problematic. And then how can a group of people respect you when you see that there are women all the time, in the black community that, are having an issue with respecting themselves? And again, we talked about that yesterday with Jill Scott and Lizzo. Jill Scott is also a very sexual and sensual person, but you don't see her out there doing that kind of stuff. It's not necessary. If you have real talent, why would you go out there and twerk in flip-flops and purple weaves? It doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense for ladies not to call it out. The only time that they call out Lizzo is when Lizzo is crying about being overweight or a BBW. Let me get tired of hearing that. But if it's just Lizzo doing the same things that she does and sexualize and censors herself, there's no call outs. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Sober Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe with the bell. Check out the first comp at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.